Assalamu alaikum and good evening for everyone. Bakkah Learning is a leading company in training field with a team of highly qualified, certified experts in different spectrum of businesses. Learners will be supported all the way in their journey to achieve professionalism and better opportunities in life. We make sure that learning services we provide are carefully chosen and aligned with today's business world. Therefore, our development team works around the clock to employ exclusive partnerships in designing a collection of internationally accredited courses in various fields, such as project management, human resources, and business analysis. Our flexible delivery methods, self-paced and live online, enable every single ambitious individual to pursue their passion and grow in their field of expertise. Of all the learning hubs, Bakkah is the trustworthy one, thanks to our global exclusive partnerships with different accreditation bodies, such as PMI, Axelis, and others. We have been blessed with supportive clients who usually leave upbeat comments about the courses they attended at Bakkah and talk well about the quality of our material, the professionalism of our instructors, and the assistance which added up to their experience here. Since establishment, Bakkah has successfully coordinated with more than 1,000 learning sessions, maintained effective engagement of more than 600 clients, helped in building more 20,000 capabilities, and bridged more than 300 success partnerships. None of this would have been possible without the efforts of our dedicated instructors, which are more than 80. Why should you choose Bakkah as your learning hub? We provide courses in a set of various in business fields, as we mentioned before. Since our monitoring process is learner-centered, we make sure the delivery method suits your availability. That's why we have live online, self-paced, and in-house training options. Our acute attention is to prepare you by all means to pass the actual exam from the first try through the exam preparation course, exam simulators, and revision questions. Thank you so much all for listening. Thanks in advance, Mr. Luay. The floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum. And yeah, today is going to be a very interesting topic. We're going to cover like a very interesting topic for all of us, which it's all about how to prepare for the future job. Make sure that you do have like the right skills in place in order to prepare for the future job. Just allow me a couple of seconds in order to bring in the slides. Okay, so the topic of today's webinar is all about how to stand out in the job market. And it's a very interesting topic because nowadays, the nature of business or the nature of technology or the speed and the pace of technology has changed a lot of businesses. And as a result, this has changed the way how we run businesses as well. And it opened the opportunity for new jobs to be introduced to the market. Because like, if you could go back 20 years ago and see, there were like many jobs that are currently available in the market. At that time, they weren't even considered. So this brings in a very important fact that all of us, we have to be ready in order to keep ourselves always up to date with the latest trends, with the latest technologies, and with the latest business practices. My name is Luay Dirar, and I'm going to be in charge for running today's webinar. Currently, I'm approaching 20 years experience in managing change, delivering strategic plans, designing strategies, and delivering transformation and assignments. Going back to the last 500 years, the job market that used to look like it was dominated by agriculture. And at that time, nothing, people at that time didn't even experience any kind of technology at that time. Everything was very basic. Everything was centered around farming, making sure that they are producing the right crops in order to keep themselves, or to in order to close the food security gap at that time. And this took hundreds of years, but it started to reshape a little bit, starting from the 1500 until somewhere between the 1500 and the 1800. There was like a small, gradually, or like we call it like a slight increase in the way how agriculture was performed. People, especially in the UK, in Britain, and in mainly in most of the European countries at that time, they started to adopt new technologies, but compared to today's technologies, it was still basic and it wasn't that advanced. Somewhere starting from the 1800s, the world started to witness what we call it a dynamic change, in which they started to see and witness new technologies in a form of gas, or maybe a coal based kind of machines that helped to increase the outputs of farms, increase the outputs of introduce new kind of products, such as textile products. Well, at that time was one of the most well-known kind of products at that time. And as a result of the Industrial Revolution that started in the 1800s, the world started to aggressively and dynamically started to accelerate on the way how things started to get introduced. And somewhere in the early or in the late 1800s, started another jump, or what we call it, another leap progression, which helped us, or helped all of us, to see and witness a new era. We started with the introduction of electricity and to get commercialized at that time. Somewhere after the Second World War, and this is a very important milestone, because after the Second World War, peace was like a common kind of language. Countries started to go back and try to reestablish and rebuild the countries that were destroyed as a result of the Second World War. And a lot of services started to get introduced at that time, such as oil services, transportation services, logistics and shipping, and even airline and aviation services. This helped, these three eras helped to shape the current situation of our market right now. And what shaped the current market, I'm going to go more into further details in the next few slides about what shaped the current job market that we are currently in right now. One of them is the electricity, as I mentioned a couple of seconds ago. The commercial distribution of electricity started in 1882. That was like almost 130 or 150 years ago, almost. And after that, followed by the aviation, or what we call it, the aviation industry, coupled by other transportation-related industries such as shipping and train at the same time. These are the kind of technologies, let me call them, that help to link different pieces of the world all together at the same time. And after that, somewhere in the 70s, companies started to aggressively introduce new machines. These kind of machines, which are called right now computers or PCs, help to create another new reality that we are currently witnessing, coupled by the introduction of the internet in 1995. And the internet, as the result of the internet, the world is no longer the same, because the internet helped to bridge all the gaps, helped to create another new fact or new norm, which is called the globalization. As a result of the internet, now we are enjoying a webinar, which was close to impossible back in the 80s, not in the 90s. Somewhere in like 20 years ago, this was something that's close to impossible. When we look at the past and the current type of nature of jobs that's going to, how they're going to look like, we can see that, yes. Just a second. I've got a question here. Okay, so when we look at the nature of jobs and how the jobs, we can see from this chart that farmers are no longer dominating the market compared to who are going to take the lead in the next, let me say, in the next 20 years. Teachers, yes, teachers, they're gonna still have like, they're gonna still have like a lot of demand compared to bankers. But if we could see from the chart that mining and farmers at the same time, farmers and mining, those two jobs are gonna get knocked down into a level that they're no longer going to be required. Okay. And what's going to shape the future job market? What's going to shape the future job market? In just a second. Technology is one of the factors that's going to shape the future job market. The creation of worldwide infrastructure and virtual teamwork. And this is what we are currently witnessing. This is going to be something very normal in the next couple of years, and started 2 years ago as a result of the COVID-19, or 3 years ago, actually. The working from home became a norm. Working remotely became also a norm. Digitalization is another factor. Unlimited access to knowledge and information is another factor. Globalization, like multinational companies with headquarters spread all over the world. This is going to be something which is actually happening right now. It's going to be, we're going to see more of them in the next few years. And economy, there's an aggressive shift from labor market into what we call it workers economy, into a knowledge economy where information is going to be highly valued. Okay, and social change, there's a lot of social changes that's going to happen. More generation that's going to go to work, and new generations that's going to join the work. At the same time, innovation, the level of innovation and technological disruption is going to increase as well. Migration, people work in foreign countries. Yes, a lot of people are going to work, like what we see right now. There's a huge, there's a massive shift in the way how people work. And we can see that there are a lot of what we call it digital nomads who are traveling the world and working from different countries at the same time. And finally, there's a new energy demand, which requires cleaner energy, carbon-free, and in order to meet many kind of targets. One of them is the United Nations, or we call it the Net Zero 2030 target. This is one of the targets that's going to emphasize on the way how companies are going to positively impact and take care of the motherland. Okay, so these are the all kind of factors, and these are not all of them. These are the most important ones. And there's another very depressing, or what we call it, depressing fact that by 2030, there are a number of 2 billion jobs that are going to get lost. So they're going to get disappeared from the market. And this requires that we need to work really hard in the next 7 years in order to adapt and prepare ourselves for the new kind of jobs. And we know that robots in the next near future are going to play a very important role in many industries. And it's not necessarily to see, we're not going to necessarily see a mechanical robot, but what I meant about robots, automations and bots and any kind of software that would replace or accelerate your job. So these are the kind of technologies that's going to be evident, or like we're going to see more of them in the next few years. And it started with the hype, with the AI, the artificial intelligence hype, and the Internet of Things, and many kind of technologies like augmented realities, robots, machineries, and mass production machines. These are the kind of technologies that's going to be more and more evident in the next few years. But we know that AI will replace you, and this is a kind of a term that's commonly you can see it in many social media platforms nowadays. But the good thing about AI that not the AI is going to replace you, but someone with AI will replace you. Going back in 2000, in the year 2000, at that time, everyone was really concerned about the introduction of computers. Computers replaced many jobs because not the computer alone. No, the one who knows how to use the computer got more advantages than those who didn't know how to use the computers. So the main the key takeaway from this slide that we all have to be well prepared for the future, and we need to make use of the latest technologies such as artificial intelligence, augmented realities, and many more. Okay, what are the top 10 future skills that we're going to see in the next 20, 25, and maybe 30 years from today? And this is based on statistics that has been, or statistical report that has been released by the World Economic Forum, the top skills of 2025 and the top skills of the next few years. So it's going to be analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategies, complex problem solving, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality and initiative, leadership and social influence, technology use, monitoring and control, technology design and programming, resilience, stress tolerance and flexibility, reasoning, problem solving and ideation. And the bottom line of all of these jobs that they are all linked to creativity. And this brings in the fact that even though we can see nowadays a lot of new technologies like such as the artificial intelligence and robots, they will never meet how the human brains function. So the functionality of our brains definitely are going to are not going to be easily replaced, because we do think in a different way than machines, and there is still a high demand for people who really are for creative people, for those who are willing to come up with new innovative kind of ideas and products and services. This brings in the importance of being prepared for the job market, and it's better to get prepared. There's a very old saying by Plato, I guess, says that luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So luck cannot happen alone without getting well prepared for the opportunities that we can see clearly from now that's going to that's going to become a reality in the next few years. Okay, so preparing for the job market, how are we going to prepare for the job market? We need to start with continuous learning and be willing to learn. There's another well-known saying that says that you need to learn and unlearn, which means that you need to learn new things, new skills and new habits, but at the same time, you need to unlearn and let go all the old ways of doing things, all the bad habits, in order to keep yourself always updated, which will help you to progress in a very in an accelerated way that will help you to stand out in the job market. When we see that there's an increasing there's an increased dependence on new changing technologies at the moment, and this helps to create new processes, new kind of technologies, and everyone who wants to learn, you have to be hungry to learn. You must be always hungry to learn new things, and this cannot be you cannot obtain any kind of new knowledge without attending training programs, courses, and obtaining certifications and many more kind of knowledge that you can easily find in books and in the social media platforms such as YouTube, or in LinkedIn Learning, and many platforms such as Coursera and Udemy, and even at Bakkah, we develop and deliver the latest training programs that will help to keep all our audience up to date in order to stand out in the job market. So the challenge we face in this fast evolving economy is that we have to educate ourselves now for the jobs that don't exist yet. So this is a very strong statement, let me call it that way. And this brings in the fact that we need to always look, we need to always change on, or we need to always keep ourselves updated, because I do believe that every 5 years you need to challenge yourself, either by moving into a new challenging job, or trying to not just to switch careers, but to drift a little bit. So if you are an engineer, you need to think about pursuing a managerial job. If you're a manager already, you need to think about climbing the ladder, either for becoming an executive board member, or like moving into either from strategy into learning about supply chain and other factors, or other functions inside your company. Preparing for the job market, we need all to focus on higher education, not just college. College degrees was the highest degree obtained back in the 50s. In the 60s and the 70s, we started to appreciate bachelor degree holders. Now, even bachelor degree holders cannot easily compete with those who do have a master's degree. PhDs, DBAs are one of the new DBAs and PhDs. Now we can see that there's a lot of companies that attract DBAs and PhD holders, especially those the companies who those companies that work in industries such as R&D, research and development, and many more. And preparing for the job market, we're still in that part. Develop entrepreneurship skills. We know that entrepreneurship is taking the hype nowadays. It's becoming one of the dream jobs, or dream kind of, let me call it, it's one of the dreams for many of us, is to become an entrepreneur in order to establish our own company. And you need to equip yourself with kind of skills such as how to develop business plans, how to pitch your ideas, and how to think about establishing, how to establish businesses, and how to even engage actively and partner with clients and vendors and suppliers. Improve your communication skills. Communication always comes at the heart of every career. if you cannot clearly communicate either verbally in a written way or in a verbal way, you're going to be always, you're going to lag, or you're not going to be positioned as a star player in your organization. So this requires from you, in order to always think about learning new languages. Most of us are Arabic speakers, but you need to think about learning English, becoming a fluent speaker in the English language. Besides, if you do have like spare time available, you can learn new languages such as French and maybe other languages. Because of one of the factors that we already know, and we covered as part of this webinar, that globalization is going to we're going to see a lot of new ways of bridging the gaps between continents and countries. This requires that we can see and witness that a lot of people are going to not learn second language, but a third language is going to be a norm in the next few years. Online networking, leveraging technology to stay visible in the virtual world. This requires like establishing like a LinkedIn profile, creating any kind of, or becoming actively, or creating like an active presence in the social network, or the social media. That will help you to network with many people around the globe, and many professionals around the globe. That will help you to explore new things, new ideas, and sounds good. Due to the latest technology, you can easily attend a conference online or attend a webinar online without even leaving your home. Emotional intelligence, and this brings in one of the most important skills that you need to always train yourself in order to become more socially or more emotionally intelligent. And we know that life doesn't go in a very consistent way. It's either sometimes goes up, sometimes goes down. You need to always remind yourself that you need to stay stay positive as much as you can. This requires even dealing with other team members inside your organization in a very active, positive, and a professional way. So this is the way how you're going to interact with people. It requires you to become, or to think about interacting with them in a very positive way. Okay. And it's, as mentioned in the slide, is one of the secret ingredients that differentiates someone who's going to have like a senior position or a leadership role in the future with someone who's going to stay in the mid to the, or he's not going to even approach leadership positions because he lacks the emotional intelligence skills, which is all about, it's one of the most important people skills that I do highly recommend most of you to go and think about it, and to go and read more and to practice how to become more emotionally intelligent. Okay. Enhance your resume. This is something that we're going to talk about towards the end of today's webinar. Is you need to always think about designing resumes and CVs that will help you to market yourself in a very professional way, in order to keep yourself always actively seeking new jobs, new roles, new challenging roles. Employability skills. Now we reached the stage in this webinar that we're going to talk about more about the type of employability skills that you need to equip yourself in order to tackle the future challenging jobs that we're going to witness in the next few years. And we all know that employability skills are core skills, and they are, most of the time they're called soft skills. And soft skills are a set of transferable skills and key personal attributes that are highly valued by employees. They are not compared to technical skills, or what we call it hard hardcore skills, which are mainly centered around the technical part of the technical expertise required for doing the job. Soft skills or employability skills are totally different. These are the kind of the skills that differentiate you from the other people. So they cannot be easily replicated, by the way. So this is your own signature. It helps to shape your own signature that will help you differentiate from the others, that will help you to pursue easily your dream job if you worked really hard in order to enhance them. Okay. The top 10, what are the top 10 employability skills? The top 10 employability skills starting with the top skill that's highly recommended, which is the communication skills, followed by teamwork skills and critical thinking skills, problem solving, work ethics skills, computer and technology skills, initiative taking and enterprise skills, planning and organization skills, learning skills, and self-management skills. In the next few slides, we're going to go in further details, covering each one of them in depth, starting with communication skills, which is, we know that you need to express your ideas in a very clear way. You need to always keep actively or stay actively engaged with different stakeholders, different team members and colleagues inside the job. And in order to become a good communicator, you need to listen. And this is one of the most important skills that top managers, leaders in many organizations need to develop first before pursuing leadership roles. Emphasize your idea, draw logical conclusions about your ideas or about your arguments and meetings, build rapport and adapt language to your audience. Make sure that you're going to tailor-made the most suitable language for your target audience. And finally, act accordingly upon the information that you gather. So starting with the communication, you need to become an active communicator. You need to become, you need to start developing your, what we call it, active listening skills and feedback skills. Followed by the second skill, which is teamwork skill. Teamwork is all about working together. We know that people build nations. You cannot easily deliver a job by your own. You need to actively engage with other stakeholders inside your organization, such as suppliers, vendors, and team members and other colleagues. Definitely, we know that management by projects is one of the new ways of delivering any kind of change inside the organization. This requires having excellent teamwork skills, and teamwork skills will help to identify the strengths of team members, as well as recognizing your own strengths and limitations. And after that, clarifying team roles and performing agreed tasks, demonstrating leadership as appropriate, and coaching, mentoring, and motivating others, which is very important. And this is quite linked to the kind of emotional skills that I highly recommended a couple of minutes ago. Giving and receiving constructive feedback. This is linked to the communication skill. It's also highly integrated with the communication part. Resolving differences of opinions, resolving problems. This requires having excellent communication skills as well. And finally, collaborating and contributing to team results. The third skill is critical thinking. You need to critically think in a positive way in order to analyze the huge amount of information that we do consume on a daily basis. As a result of the internet, in a daily basis, we consume a lot of information. And we need to think about how we're going to critically analyze and assess the information that we receive as a result of an email that I've received from a client or from a vendor or from a colleague. And this requires that we need to think about how we're going to tackle these kind of issues or problems in a very logical way. Problem solving, yes, this is one of the most important skills. You need to become an active problem solver. well known as someone who loves and he works very hard in order to make sure that no problems are on the surface, make sure that everyone is happy around you. And this requires resolving complex issues. It might not be even people issues, can be issues related to technical issues and issues related to external vendors and suppliers. You need to always think about finding ways on how you're going to resolve these kind of issues. So some of the steps of problem solving are gathering information. Before you fix the problem, you need to think about gathering as much information that will help you to have like a clear picture about what's going on. And after that, identify and define the issues and understand everyone's points of view or interests, list possible solutions, find new ways of new solutions in order that will help you to tackle the situation, and select the most suitable solution for your problem and implement that solution. And these are the this can be called a logical procedure for tackling any kind of problem. And it's a six action or a 6-step procedure that will help you to tackle any kind of problems, not only technical problems, but any kind of problems. Now we're going to cover the computer and technology skills, and this is going to be the kind of skills that we're going to see in the next. This is how we're going to open new gates for the future. Without the computer that was introduced in the last 20 years, let me say, it's almost impossible to conduct such an online training nowadays. Okay, so most of the employers seek those people who do have like excellent and strong people skills, but at the same time, computer still plays a very active role in how the current economy is operating. The way how businesses nowadays operate is highly dependent on the use of computers inside the organizations. So all candidates must exhibit a willingness to learn and adapt with new changing technologies, such as Microsoft Office suite that covers Microsoft Office, or includes or consists of Microsoft Office and Excel and PowerPoint. Other information and communication technologies, ICTs, and email management, email writing, digital calendar management, and mobile devices, word processing, search engine research, how to research for information in Google or any other search engine platforms. And finally, how to have like social media presence or online presence by using social media platforms. Okay, so these are all the kind of technologies that we need to, or computer technology skills that we need to always think about equipping ourselves with. Okay, initiative and enterprise skills. We need to always think about the best ways that we need to make the right initiatives, or how we're going to identify new opportunities inside the companies that we're currently working in, or the companies that we are actively pursuing to work in the near future. We need to understand the goals of the task, and we need to make sure that we are actively engaging in a very active way in order to add value to the companies that we currently work in a very strategic way. And initiative and enterprise skills can look in the form of assessing the competitive advantage of ideas, identifying customers or client requirements, developing strategic goals or strategic objectives, being creative, initiating ideas and innovative solutions, determining the commercial viability of ideas, translating ideas into action, demonstrating sensitive issues such as political, commercial, environmental, cultural aspects that are currently being currently faced inside the organization, liaising or like connecting with other stakeholders and sponsors, using a range of business communication methods, marketing and selling products. So it's all about taking the right initiatives that will help you to maximize opportunities for the company that you are currently working in or pursuing to work in. Sharper. Okay, planning and organization skills. This brings in one of the most important topics, that you must have like excellent planning skills. We know that in order to bridge the current situation with the future situation, we need to come up with a plan. And organization skills such as note-taking, journaling is one of the most important skills. I don't believe that you can see or find someone that's who managing to pursue or to accelerate in his career without having this kind of skill. This is a very important skill. You need to take notes. You need to think about actively gathering information. I will highly recommend all of you to go and read. There's a new book called Building a Second Brain. Building a Second Brain is one of the most interesting books that talks about how to build up a kind of what we call infrastructure that will help you to gather information and put them in a very organized way. Because we know that there's a massive flow of information that we on a daily basis will consume. And this book recommends that we need to consume in a very organized way, put all the information so we can easily record them. And being organized means that you do build up a planning skills. So being organized requires that it's one of the most important recipes for becoming a good planner, because planning is all about building up a plan or building up any kind of or making sure that will help you to execute tasks and assignments in a very structured and organized way. Okay, so you can even, as a result of writing down a to-do list, developing action plans, you can even go a little bit further and develop like schedules and Gantt charts, or maybe call it like time plans that will help you to visually look and see how you plan the major and most important tasks in your plan. To develop your organization skills, you need to create a to-do list. This requires having like a simple notepad or a simple bullet journal. I'd highly recommend buying a bullet journal, what we call it a journal, or a diary manufactured by Moleskine. It's one of the best kind of journals. Creating a timeline, you can use many softwares out there. You can use Mondays, you can use even Slack, can help you. You can use many softwares available. You can use even Notion. Notion is one of the softwares that I highly recommend. Or even if you are an iPhone user, you can use the simple Notepad app, and or the calendar inside that comes with your mobile phones. Prioritize your tasks and plan a schedule. Prioritization skills that, in a very simple way, you can start your day by taking notes of your most important tasks for today. Let us say for today, starting today, and you can group them into 3 categories. Starting with Group A means the most important tasks, followed by Group B, which is the less important tasks, and at the end you're going to try to have the least important tasks, which are the C group tasks. This is the best way the best and the most easiest way that will help you to prioritize your tasks. Learning skills, this brings in the most important skill that you need to stay always hungry for new information, and make sure that you do have the right skills that would keep you always updated with the latest knowledge. One of the skills is having like good research skills that will help you to research the latest information. At the same time, you must make sure that you do have the right language skills that will help you to easily read and write about the latest information that you have gathered. I do believe that if you do read but you can't write, this is this you will never reach the clarity kind of thinking, because thinking in a clear way requires writing. So the more you read, I would highly recommend that, and with the same level of reading that you're going, or the same level of information that you're going to consume, try to produce new kind of content. Try to either establish your own blog or write any kind of new advisors and post them in your social media platforms. Okay, so you need to be always hungry about learning about the new skills that's dominating the latest of today's tech world. You need to think about looking at the new jobs. You need to see what are the new jobs are asking for, which kind of skills are they asking for, and preparing yourself by learning these kind of new skills. Learning can be enhanced by attending training programs, conducting research, reading books, attending webinars and conferences. It might be virtual webinars and conferences as well. And at the same time, you can add new habits every day by incorporating these kind of new skills. Okay, and followed by self-management skills. Before we dive into the self-management part, I'm a true believer that if you want to become someone who's or someone who's going to have like a bright future, you need to become a self-learner. So you need to become a self-learner, which means that you need to sit and plot in like certain hours a day. But let's keep it simple. 1 hour a day. If you studied or you read a book in your in the area that you think you do have like interest in, this will help you to pursue easily your dream job. So learning nowadays doesn't require even reading. There are many kind of ways that you can learn new information, either by attending a training program that's offered by Bakkah, or attending any kind of online training that's easily be found in, or attending a course, or watching like a YouTube video. Self-management skills. Now I'm going to talk about the self-management skills. You need to become highly disciplined. And this discipline is always centered around the way that you use your time. Okay, so it means you need to have like excellent time management skills. You need to always become like an actively, or someone who's that your employee would depend on when it comes to delivering assignments, delivering projects, or delivering any kind of tasks, that you need to be always keen about the deadline. You need to meet the deadlines and so on. So this requires like having knowledge and confidence in your own ideas and visions. You need to be confident about yourself. At the same time, you need to articulate your own ideas and vision. And after that, taking responsibility about any kind of task that you're currently handling. Work in a very ethical way, and you need to train yourself to work under pressure, but you need to always think about taking care of yourself as well. And finally, demonstrating resilience. This cannot happen without making sure that you do have a number of hours that need to be set aside for practicing or going to a gym or any kind of workout. You need to take care of yourself. You need to have like a balanced diet, a balanced life, and this cannot be done without taking care of yourself. So you need to make sure that you're taking care of your energy. Work ethics. This brings in a very important slide, and ethics is all about acting in a very professional way. You have to be someone who's trustworthy, someone who's honest, and this leads to, you need to make sure that you're in compliance with your work procedures and policies, integrity, empathy, good judgment. In a very simple way, you need to become a good citizen and a good employee inside your company. Okay, so this brings in how to identify your employability skills. And I'm going to open the floor for some questions. Please feel free if you have any kind of questions. Please post them, write them in the chat box. And I'm going to answer them immediately right now. Okay, go ahead. The floor is yours. Yes, I've got one question here. Hello, Ahmed Taha. Yes. Does any one of you have a question? Please feel free. Okay. I'm going to progress with the next slides. Okay, how to identify your employability skills? This is a very important question. This is one of the most important questions or question. Is how to identify your skill gaps. You need to start by listing down the activities that you do in a daily basis. If you're not graduated yet, still in the college or university, you need to address which kind of activities that you practice in the daily basis. Okay, this will give you like a good idea about what are you most interested about or interested in. These are the kind of your strengths areas. Okay, and if you're someone who's into sports, you need to, this will give you like a very good indicator that you're more into taking leadership roles. And if you are someone who loves to get into any kind of studying, or someone who loves studying and researching, you're more into pursuing any kind of research job. Someone who takes who loves nature, who loves taking care of animals, you might be someone who's going to work in the healthcare sector and so on. So this is all about you. You need to think about, you need to conduct and always write down what are the things that interest you the most, and what's the purpose, what's your purpose in life. This is another part that you need to always ask yourself in a very transparent way. What's the purpose of life that I need to, what's my purpose of life, and what's my dream job, and what am I going to pursue the next few years. Okay, how to develop your employability skills. Working on improving your skills is one of the most what we call it competitive skills that you need to always keep it on top of your agenda. And this can be in a form of improving your organization skills by organizing events inside your community. So you need to become like someone who's well known inside your neighborhood that you're a good planner. If you do love planning, always go and take the lead in organizing these kind of events. Become if you want to become like a strong leader, you need to shadow someone who's well known. Someone that you, it's not necessarily someone that you really know, but someone that you are really inspired by, such as Steve Jobs or like Sergio Marchionne, or many other like leaders, such as any leader that you can find. And even Prophet Muhammad is one of the good examples that we can, we always actively work very hard in order to follow his footsteps. If you want to improve your technical skills, you can start by leveraging different tools in your day-to-day life. By either, if you want to become if you want to become a mechanical engineer, you need to fix your. You start by fixing your own bicycle, and moving into step by step into one day you might even fix your car, and after that you might be well known as a good mechanic, or someone who's very good at fixing cars. And if you want to improve your management skills, you need to take more responsibility about work and help to learn about time management, planning, and team working, and even engaging and networking with different stakeholders. And if you want to improve your employability skills, This is the bottom line. You need to always keep a checklist, what we call it, a checklist. And this checklist can be part of a diary or your bullet journal that I highly recommend it in a couple of slides before, that you need to always actively write down your ideas and your thoughts, journaling in a daily basis, or writing down any kind of ideas, maybe in a form of a physical journal, or maybe in a form of a digital journal, such as notepads, digital notepads that can be easily that are commonly part of all of our smartphone devices. Okay, it's time to land your dream job. Now, after we covered at the beginning, we started with the history of the economies, starting with the agriculture economy, how it used to look like, and going all the way to the industrial economy, and after that ending up with the service economy. Now we're talking about knowledge economy. The knowledge economy is the dominating economy nowadays, and it's shaping how businesses are, or how businesses, how jobs are actually actively performing nowadays. In order to think about the best ways in order to land your dream job, you need to identify your hard skills besides your soft skills. Hard skills are technical skills, and this is linked to your core, it's directly linked to the industry in which you want to work in. So if you want to become a doctor, you need to definitely keep yourself always up to date with the latest skills, or like the latest skills in medicine, or in pharmaceutical industries, and many kinds of industries. These are the hard skills. But the soft skills, these are the ones that you need to develop for your own sake. And these are the ones that's going to differentiate you from the others. So looking at the hard skills, technical skills, practical skills that are directly linked to the industry that you want to work in. This kind of technical skills you need to always keep yourself actively updated in, such as by attending like technical courses in the areas that you want to, the areas that you think you do have interest in. And when going to look at the soft skills, you need to look at the interpersonal kind of skills that you need to always upgrade on, such as communication skills, listening skills, and feedback skills, report writing skills, email writing skills. These are all kinds of soft skills that you need to always upgrade every now and then. Okay. Another part about the best ways, or the best approaches in landing your dream job, is to investigate the possibilities for your strengths. You need to identify the strengths. All of us, we don't have like similar strengths. Everyone has his own skills. You need to tap on your skills. You need to tap on your strengths, and you need to, these are the ones that's going to help you to differentiate in a very competitive way amongst the others. And if you are good at writing, you can become a good writer by publishing books and writing blogs. If you're good at public speaking, you can become a public speaker. If you're someone who's good at design or at coding, you can become a good website designer. If you're someone who's good at trading, you can start establishing your own drop shipping like business, or any kind of business. So these are kind of skills are directly linked to the strengths, or to your own capabilities. You need to tap on your own capabilities and start to upgrading them, or like making sure that every now and then you're going to make sure that your skills are always up to date with the latest technologies. I've got someone who raised his hand a couple of seconds ago. Just a second, let me check. Yes. Do you have any question here? Okay. Some of the many industries and sectors that you could find a dream job include such as agriculture and horticultural, energy and mining, healthcare and medical or medicine, arts and design, retail and wholesale, finance and banking, or financial institutions and banking, hospitality and tourism, such as hotel management and businesses, building and construction, engineering, manufacturing, education and social work, creative and heritage, and many more industries that you can find your dream job in. You need to always equip yourself with the latest industry knowledge, industry language that will help you to stand out if you've been approached for any kind of interview. Okay, we're still in the section of pursuing your dream job, or how to land your dream job. Investigate roles in which you excel. So the next step after or tap on your strengths here, and after that, exactly which industries that you want to approach. You need to research about those kind of roles or jobs. You can easily nowadays find new information or such information in the web, especially by opening a LinkedIn account or developing a LinkedIn profile. You can easily search in the jobs section about jobs that you think that you are competent about, or you do have the right competencies, and you can know more about the job descriptions, the companies that are offering these kind of jobs, and you can access their websites, learn more about the ways and approaches. Approach others to find out more about your dream job. You can approach any kind of many professionals that you can easily find online, and those that you can find in many groups. Now, many groups in Facebook or in Twitter or in many other social media platforms, especially LinkedIn, that you can attend any kind of discussion, or attend any kind of webinar where you can find the opportunity to network with other people who work in that career, learn from their past experiences, and look for new insights about how the industry is getting shaped or reshaped at the moment. Assert yourself with confidence. Finding your dream job, we know that is not an easy, it's not an easy journey. You need to always remind yourself that this is not an easy journey. This is something that you need to always think about in a way that is not an overnight success. You need to stay hungry for new knowledge. You need to stay patient as much as possible. It doesn't happen overnight. It might take days, years, maybe months, but you need to always keep on moving. My advice is to compare every year at the beginning of the year, let's say January, on every year, you need to compare what you have progressed compared with the last year. This will give you like a very good indicator about if you are progressing well or not. But at the same time, you shouldn't punish yourself. You should always become or think in a gentle way, or you need to look at yourself in a very gentle way, not harming yourself about feeling any kind of disappointment, or feeling disappointment, or creating any kind of disappointment about whether you manage to progress in a very positive way in your career or not. Because life doesn't go in a very linear way. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. You have to be always ready for facing any kind of disappointments, any kind of setbacks. You need to, my advice is, yes, one day you might face any kind of problems, but you need to learn and train yourself to quickly pick up in order to continue moving towards your dream jobs or dream goals. Okay. how to develop a high impact CV. And this is going to act as a passport in which how you're going to present yourself to the employers that you are actively seeking to work in their firms. How to develop a high impact CV? We're going to look at many aspects here, starting with plan your resume layout with clear sections. The more your CV is well organized and clean in terms of choosing like simple design layouts, simple design language, making sure that your CV looks in a very professional way, this will help you to stand out easily amongst the crowd. And nowadays, you can easily open access LinkedIn and create a profile in LinkedIn, which you can add a URL about your LinkedIn profile. That's going to be part of your CV. And if there are any kind of interested employers, they can reach out through your LinkedIn profile, via your LinkedIn profile. Adapt it to your field and the position you're pursuing. In a very simple way, you need to make sure that your CV is all the roles, all the duties that you conducted in the past, which are documented in your CV, are tailor-made and customized in order to bring in the industry language and the industry expertise that will help you to pursue your dream job. So make it as much as relevant to the industry that you're planning to work in. Give a proper consideration to your personal statement, which means that you need to tailor-made your CV in order to suit your dream job. And you shouldn't make it, my advice here is try to make it more as much as realistic as possible, avoiding any kind of dramatic or overly dramatic expressions in your CV. Include a header and a summary or objective about your career. What are you currently doing? What's your past? What's your current position? And what are your past positions, current positions? What's your future, and where are you heading in the future? Which will give like a very good summary for those who might be interested in hiring you, because I do believe that most of the companies, when they open a new job, asking for candidates in order to post or to apply for this kind of for this job, they're going to get a huge number of candidates who are interested in joining that job. The first thing that the employer is going to read the summary. So this is your unique selling proposition that you need to make sure that keep it as much as possible, as simple as it is, but at the same time, let me call it simple yet professional. And this is how you're going to sell yourself as someone who might be chosen for that job. How to develop a high impact CV, we're still in that part, is by making sure that you submit a cover letter. And here comes the most important and the most, what I call one of the tools and weapons that's going to differentiate you from the others. Trying to write in a plain professional language. Try to choose keywords, but before writing cover letter, you need to go and find more information, research about the company that you're planning to or interested in joining or applying for the job, and learn more about that company and try to incorporate some kind of keywords that will give an impression for the employer that you do know well about the company. Okay. Proofreading, yes, you need to proofread it before you submit it. My advice is to sleep on it. Sleep on it means that if you're planning to apply for a job tomorrow, let's say, and the submission deadline is somewhere in 12 afternoon, my advice is to prepare everything today and just sleep on it. In the early morning, just go through it. You're going to have like fresh eyes. You can easily spot any kind of mistakes or grammatical mistakes, and you can fix them. And after that, and sometimes you might seek a third eye, which means that bringing in one of your friends and asking them for the favor of reviewing your CV. This can also help in order to proofread your CV. We are just approaching the last slide here, and which is all about what are the other tools that going to help you in developing a high impact CV. Is try to add skills to your resume, and this is something that you can easily find in OM and easily add in LinkedIn. My advice is, if you want to add skills or a number of skills in your CV, go and within your LinkedIn profile, you just can start by writing down keywords, and it's going to automatically write the rest of the skill that you want to add. Just add them first in your LinkedIn. LinkedIn does have like a kind of an engine that generates automatically skills, a number of skills, based on a database that consists of a number of thousands of kind of skills. Write down and check it for a number of times, see if it's relevant with the kind of skill that you have. After that, you can easily copy it in your CV. And highlight skills in your cover letter. You need to position in a very smart way yourself, and at the same time, you need to highlight which kind of skills that you do have the strengths the most, and this will help you to stand out easily. But you need to make sure that it's relevant with the job that you're applying for. And finally, showcase real examples. Once you, inshallah, if you've been asked to attend any kind of interview, try to give like real examples about any kind of projects that you delivered in the past that are quite relevant with the current job, any kind of habits that you currently practice that are quite relevant with the job that you're planning to join or you actually applied for. And as a result, we reached the last slide. I will open the floor for any questions. Feel free. شكرا جزيلا للحضور. Thanks a lot for all the audience, those who attended this webinar. Please feel free if you do have any kind of questions. Okay, I'm going to go back to the first slide here. Yes. Okay. Do you have any questions or any kind of topic that we want to further elaborate on? Feel free. The floor is yours. Okay. We reached the end of today's webinar. Nidar, you can take the lead. Thanks for everyone who attended this webinar. And I wish you all a bright future, inshallah. And hopefully this webinar gave you the right skills, the right information that will help you to pursue your dream job. I've got, thank you. Thanks, Ahmed Taha. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. The slides are, I'm not quite sure if they're going to be available, but you can find a video like this webinar is going to be recorded and uploaded in our website, in our YouTube channel in YouTube. You can find it in our channel in YouTube. Just search for Bakkah in YouTube, and inshallah, maybe tomorrow, maximum tomorrow, or couple of 2 days maximum, we're going to find it available in our YouTube channel, inshallah. Shukran. Okay, and Nidar, you can take the lead. Thank you, everyone. Shukran لكل الحضور. مع السلامة.
Thank you so much, Mr. Luay, for your efforts.
Thank you. شكرا نضال. شكرا أخي ياسر. شكرا لكل الحضور. مع السلامة.
يعطيكم العافية جميعا. شاكرين جدا لحضوركم للويبينار معنا اليوم مع أستاذ لؤي، وإن شاء الله بإذن الله على أمل إنه نلاقيكم في ويبينارات جاية بإذن الله تعالى. كل تمنياتنا لكم بالتوفيق من فريق بكة.